How many days of the week do you dread going to the closet to pick out some clothes to wear for the day? Have you given up on getting dressed at all? I know for many people, the pandemic made our sweatpants our primary wardrobe to go to. When we struggle with our weight, often we have many sizes of clothes in our closet. The smaller sizes taunting us, making us feel bad for not being disciplined enough to wear them. The larger ones mocking us even worse because they seem uninspired, drab, and frumpy. So, how can we shift with our thin thinking into a new way, a new mindset about how we dress ourselves and give ourselves the permission to look good no matter what size we are? Today, on the Thin Thinking podcast, we are going to explore with my guest, expert fashion consultant Ginger Burr, on how to get excited about dressing ourselves and expressing who we are with self-respect, style, and lots of love. So grab your empty hangers and come on in. Did you know that our struggle with weight doesn't start with the food on your plate or get fixed in the gym? 80% of our weight struggle is mental. That's right. The key to unlocking long-term weight release and management begins in your mind. Hi there, I'm Rita Black. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, weight loss expert, best-selling author, and the creator of the Shift Weight Mastery process. And not only have I helped thousands of people over the past 20 years achieve long-term weight mastery, I am also a former weight struggler, carb addict, and binge eater. And after 2 decades of failed diets and fad weight loss programs, I lost 40 pounds with the help of hypnosis. Not only did I release all that weight, I have kept it off for 25 years. Enter the Thin Thinking podcast, where you too will learn how to remove the mental roadblocks that keep you struggling. I'll give you the thin thinking tools, skills, and insights to help you develop the mindset you need, not only to achieve your ideal weight, but to stay there long term and live your best life. Hello, friend. Come on in. How are you doing here in this crazy month of March? I am really enjoying March. It is so my favorite month. And I wanted to express my gratitude right now. I'm feeling so grateful because of all of you listeners. We are celebrating our 2nd year with this podcast this month. I don't know if you've been tuning in this month, but we have a contest going on. It's a review contest, and I wanted to read some reviews. And thank you guys for your love. Here's one. I love Rita's approach to weight loss. She genuinely cares about you and your weight loss success and gives you the best tools to help you lose weight permanently by going to the root of your weight struggles. She goes beyond dieting, working out, and actually helps you cultivate the mindset and mental emotional care necessary to help you lose weight for good. She tells it like it is and also gives you great practical tips that you can implement in your life right now. Thank you so much. This is C. Platten. Thank you so much. I love this. And let me find another one here. Thank you. This is Brian's Babe. Every time I listen to Rita, I learn something new. I have struggled for years with weight loss and staying fit. I believe a lot of this is the words we use. I really enjoy these podcasts and am currently reading her book. Well, thank you. Here's D.S. Wood. Said, super simple ideas. I'm actually someone who doesn't need the weight loss, but I'm oddly facing pre-diabetic numbers due to sugar and carb cravings. It's hard to say no. Thank you for these tips. Well, thank you so much. So thank you, everybody. So now here's your chance to write a review, and you will get a free hypnosis download when you take a screenshot of that review and send it to me at rita@shiftweightmastery.com. And that's Rita at shiftweightmastery.com. It's also in the show notes. And I will send you a coupon for a free hypnosis download in the Shift store. And you will also have your name entered into the contest, drum roll please, for a free enrollment in the Shift Weight Mastery process that is coming up in May. That's a live online event that it's a process that you do online, and then it is hosted by me. We will also work together. So you get a chance to work with me live and also go through the process with lots and lots and lots of other people. It's a really exciting process. We have coaches in there who have gone through the process before and released weight. We use lots of hypnosis and meditation. It's a mind-blowing transformational process to shift you from the old weight struggle into powerful long-term permanent weight mastery. So please give us a review and send it to us. Now, if you've done a review and you're like, well, Rita, why did I know about this review? Well, send me a picture of the review and I'll put you on the contest too. I mean, you wrote a review, so send a picture of it too. But I don't know. You need to send it to me for me to know. So please, please send it in. The more the merrier. I'm loving this contest and I want you to join. So please write a review. Now, I think you guys may know. Well, I have a very exciting guest that I'm about to announce, but I just want to transition into this because my husband, is retired. He retired during the pandemic. He was an English professor for many, many years. And he is now spending his time writing, and he could not be happier. I would be miserable if I retired, but, some people love working. My husband enjoyed his job, but, those stacks of papers that he had to grade, he loved the kids, but he really did not like grading papers at all. So the man was so happy when he finally retired. And you should have seen him clear out his closet. So I promise you the story is transitioning into our story today because he cleared out all the closet of all of his suits except for one suit, that maybe he would need for some sort of event or something. And he gave them all to charity. And he got himself a bunch of pajama pants. He just decided he was going to live the pajama lifestyle. And he got himself some slippers, like 5 pairs of slippers, 1 pair of slippers for the house, 1 pair of slippers for the garden, 1 pair of slippers for driving. I mean, seriously, he went all out, and he walks around the neighborhood walking our dog in his pajamas. And there are this is California, folks, so people do walk around in their pajama bottoms in our neighborhood. He's not the only one. Yes, it's true. Maybe in your neighborhood they do that too. He even went skiing in his pajamas once, spring skiing, obviously not winter skiing. So there you go. That is what my husband has done with his wardrobe. But it just kind of reminds me of our theme today because I think a lot of people got very used to sweatpants and pajama bottoms during the pandemic. And I know when I struggled with my weight, I had this pair of pants that I always wore. They were black, of course, and they were an elastic waistband. So, and I could dress them up, wear them for a special occasion, or I could dress them down, on my casual days too. I mean, it was just hilarious. And I could be anywhere up and down the scale, 20, 30 pounds. This is what I loved about them. So when I was losing weight, they would get really loose and baggy on me. And do you have a pair of pants like this? And then when you gain weight, then they get tight and you get them out of the dryer and you put them on and they're tight, but you do some squats and it loosens up the fabric. That's what these pants were. And I had a very distorted idea of myself and what I would allow myself to wear. I really did not wear much when I really struggled with my weight. I had a very small wardrobe. I mean, I had a huge wardrobe full of all these different sizes of clothes, but what I really allowed myself to wear on a daily basis was drab and dull. And, I hid in my clothes. I was very ashamed of how I looked, so I wore very baggy things. And I didn't give myself permission to spend money on myself at all. And I hear the same from many of my clients and students. So this is why it is my such joy. I've been looking for this woman. I said, I want somebody to come on and talk to us about how to dress ourselves and how to love ourselves as we are loving ourselves down the scale to look fabulous doing so. And I have found this person. She actually came to me through a client, my lovely client, Cherie, who you may have heard me speaking to. She has worked with Ginger and she loved Ginger. And she said, you must meet Ginger. You and Ginger will get on like a house on fire. And I do. I love Ginger. And Ginger Burr is going to help us start thinking differently about dressing ourselves and creating our own style no matter where we are on the scale. Creating a wardrobe and personal style you love begins with a longing for ease and beauty, your definition of beauty, every time you get dressed. Ginger Burr founded Total Image Consultants with a heartfelt belief that whether you are 25 or 85, you deserve to feel radiant, pulled together every time you get dressed. Her work has reached women from all walks of life who long to connect with their inner essence to create a wardrobe they love. She is the author of the book, That's So You. Create a look you love with beauty, style, and grace, and has been interviewed by Allure Magazine, Worth Magazine, Forbes Magazine, and Bloomberg Business Week. She is also contributing in our show notes a free video called Feel Authentic, Chic, and Unstoppable at Any Age. And she has a course coming up called Create Your Personal Style in 6 Weeks. And you can find the link to both of these in the show notes. Welcome, Ginger, to the Thin Thinking podcast. I'm really excited to dive into our topic today with you.
Oh, thank you, Rita. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So I'm so fascinated about what you do. I probably need you desperately. So tell us a lot about what you do. Just give us an overview of how you help women in getting as a wardrobe consultant, right? That's what you would
Yeah,
specifically
I'm
call
an
yourself.
image consultant, fashion stylist, wardrobe consultant. I do all of that, all of those things. So whatever you want to call it is totally fine. My goal really is the majority of my clients are over 40, although lately I have had a slight influx of women in their 20s to 30s, which is really interesting to me and
Interesting.
very heartening. I love that. But
You
women
do.
over 40, over 50, the fashion industry ignores us.
Mm,
And it's at a time when often our lifestyles are changing, or we're empty nesters, or we're really skyrocketing in our careers, or we're changing career paths, or
yeah.
retiring. Things are, our bodies are changing. All of these things, as you know, all of these things impact our style and what we choose to wear. And certainly the
Mhm.
pandemic did that a lot.
Oh my gosh.
And navigating that can feel overwhelming, it can feel confusing, it can feel frustrating. And so my job is to get in there and take away that stress and reduce the frustration and help to make getting dressed easier and more refined, so that you don't have 4 million options, most of which you don't wear in your closet, to have to filter through every day in order to get dressed. We can really fine tune what works for you, what makes you feel happy to wear, so you can get dressed easily and get on with your day. I'm in the fashion industry, and yet I still don't want to primp and fuss, and I just want to get
Yeah.
dressed and go. And that's what I'm saying with all of my clients, but a lot of times that's not their reality.
Yes, it's so true. And I am so jealous. I think, who was it? Was it Einstein who had just 10 white shirts and 10 pairs of black pants? And it's all,
I think
it just
Steve
went,
Jobs did that too. Yeah.
yeah, the black turtleneck.
Right.
Uh,
Yes.
just keep the decision making simple. Sometimes I do think about that, but I do like getting dressed up. But sometimes when I think about it, I do get overwhelmed. So, why do you think, given the fact that you have this? Oh, wait, before I ask this question, I'm really kind of curious how you got into what you do. Like, what made you decide to go on this path in life? This is so
Well,
fascinating. And I have to say, before you say anything, you look amazing. If you could see Ginger, she has beautiful red hair and she's just dressed impeccably. Even for an interview, she knows that isn't going to be on video.
oh, you're so sweet. And it's comfortable. We all want to be comfortable. So, I think a lot of times people think someone who is in the fashion industry, an image consultant, fashion stylist, whatever, that they were born knowing how to put themselves and other people together. And,
Mm.
and I'm sure there are some people out there for whom that is true. That was not my reality. I had a great interest in it. I was also a teenager in the 70s, and in my world or my thinking, it was probably the ugliest decade in fashion history that ever existed. I think most of it was just, at least in small town, USA. It was
Right.
ugly. It was boring. Well, it wasn't boring, but it was ugly. I looked terrible in those clothes. I never felt good. I didn't know how to dress myself. I didn't know how to put things together. I would see friends at school and they would look pulled together, and I would try to do what they were doing and it never worked. And I struggled with that all through my teens, all through my 20s. And I thought there has to be an easier way, because sometimes I'd put together an outfit and think, oh, this looks great. I have no idea why. And I couldn't
Oh.
recreate that. And I thought, oh my goodness, for crying out loud, I cannot be the only woman on the planet who is struggling with this. And I was a music major in college, so nothing at all related to fashion or style, but I did have an interest. And so I was just about to turn 30 when I met this woman who was offering a 3-day workshop that she called Fashion, Color, and Image. I thought, whoa, that sounds kind of perfect. And I was really going just to learn for myself. And I swear to you, I was in it for an hour. I was totally enamored of her. I was impressed. She was everything that I wanted to be. And I picked things up really quickly. I was fascinated by it all, passionate about it. And I realized that I could help other women. If I could learn all of this fully, I could help other women and empower other women. And so I begged this woman to train me. And she was
Oh,
willing. She was
isn't
willing.
that cool?
Fell into place for this to happen. And I thought, it was not politically correct back then to be thinking a lot about what you wore. And yet I knew that added, when you felt good about how you looked, and this is still true, it increases your self-confidence, it can increase your
Mhm.
self-esteem. All of those things were true for me, and I knew they could be true for other women, and I wanted to help other women feel that sense of empowerment.
Interesting. That's so cool that you became her apprentice and she was open to that. I do remember the 70s myself. I was a child of the 70s because the 60s and the 50s, the women's styles were super cool. And then women decided, let's burn our bras and not care about how we look and don't wear makeup, which was great and needed to happen on a certain level. But I think we then probably lost that sense. Her mother was a tailor. Like, so my
Oh,
mother had amazing outfits. She gained weight and she couldn't wear them anymore, but my mother in her younger years was incredibly stylish because her mother, it mattered then, it mattered how you looked. And then I think we grew up in an era where it was like you said, it wasn't in vogue to care as much or put yourself together. It was more about like being the power, being the woman within. But it's so true that no matter where you're at or what's going on out in the world, feeling good about yourself, feeling good about how you put yourself together, and having that confidence does make a difference. So why is it that, given all of your breadth of experience with working with women, why do you think it's important? Why do you think it's important, how we look in our lives and what impact on the inner and outer, does that bring to our lives with a sense of joy,
Yeah.
thriving.
Yeah, it's important on a couple of different levels. Well, obviously probably many levels. But first of all, as I mentioned, when we feel good about how we look, it increases our self-confidence. And most importantly, we can get dressed and forget about it. We aren't going about
Mm,
our day. I've had women stand in front of the closet and they say, you know what? It takes so much mental energy for me to figure out what to wear. And then I finally put something on and I leave the house, and it takes so much mental energy to feel comfortable in what I'm wearing because I'm worried, is it too tight? Is it too short? Is it the wrong color? Is it the wrong outfit for the occasion? All those things that just kind of plague us. And that's not what we want to have happen. We want to be able to get dressed, feel good about it, go on with our day, and be able to put our energy and our focus on the things that truly matter and that are really, really important to us without all this negativity, this inner critic, stuff going on in the
yes.
back of our heads, telling us that, we should be taller or thinner or tanner or something.
Right.
That's just that we're not, when really we're great the way we are. But it's about
Right.
understanding how to make those choices that not only affect how we look on the outside, but feed our soul. And that's why it's so important to understand how to reflect who you are on the inside in the outside choices that you're making.
Right. I could not agree with you more. That is so profound on so many levels. So I'm curious, as somebody who helps people with their subconscious mind, uh, have you observed in working with people that we have inner obstacles that keep us stuck when it comes to creating a wardrobe that we love? I mean, is there a lack of permission? Like, what do
How
you
much
see
time do
out
you
there
have?
brewing?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there are so many things. There's so many things. We get so plagued by body image issues and,
Hmm.
things that, well, for instance, I've always been knock-kneed, and for years, I remember very clearly when I was in college, I was walking down the stairs. I lived on the second floor. I was walking down the stairs, and a friend had a camera, and I was wearing shorts, and she started
Mm.
to take a picture. I sat down on the stairs. I thought, nope, I'm not letting my leg
Oh,
be seen
interesting.
in this picture. And that's how uncomfortable I felt about my body. And
Mm.
it makes me so sad now to think about that.
Yes.
And I finally realized, years later, Ginger, get a grip. I suspect you're the only one who notices. And even if you're not, who cares? Because I
Right.
was letting it affect what I would wear,
Hmm.
where I would go, just how I would, you know, be myself out there in the world. So body image issues are huge. And as we get older and our body shifts, or we gain weight or we lose weight, I mean, all those things can happen as we get older. It affects how we see ourselves
Yeah.
and how we fit in our clothing and the choices that we used to make that now don't work as well anymore. And so then we end up at a loss. So all of these things can impact our experience of getting dressed and feeling confident.
Yeah. I mean, I think, for years and years, because I struggled with my weight for a long time, I would wear, and I hated my legs. And I work very hard on loving my legs. I'm with you, but I'm not knock knees, but, I have bigger legs. So I'm pear shaped. And I used to wear black pants to the beach. I used to wear, like and my husband would be like, put on a pair of shorts, will you, for God's sake? And I was like, I want other people to have a good time. Because I
Oh,
was like, really, that
yeah.
is how profoundly disgusted I was with my body. I was like, not just my own personal disgust, but, I wanted others around me not to be like, oh my God, I can't look at those legs. So I have a question along those lines. So I notice a lot of people in my world, um, women who are, and men who are struggling with weight, want to usually will put off getting a wardrobe, buying a wardrobe for themselves, or having, well, one, having a closet full of, I know when I struggled with my weight, my closet was full of like maybe 6 different sizes, but really all black pants, by the way. But what people do is postpone. I will get that wardrobe when I'm thin. And what then I see the baggy clothes syndrome where people then are, if they are on, if they work with me and they're on a weight release journey, releasing weight, I can tell you like 3 different women I'm working with now who are in my community who have released significant amount of weight, but they're waiting to go and buy some clothes. And I say, go buy something in the midterm. So I'm kind of curious about that whole psychology of I'm going to wait until I look thin enough to love myself enough to go and invest in a wardrobe.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I hear it all the time. I've had many women over the years say to me, I'll get back in touch with you when I've lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever it is.
Exactly.
And I always get back to them and say, we don't have to spend, you don't have to spend like thousands of dollars,
Mhm.
but why not feel good in what you're wearing right now? Because oftentimes they've been holding back because they aren't feeling good about their body at the weight they're at. So they still aren't buying things that they really love to wear. And then
Mhm.
they're wearing those, if they are losing weight, they're wearing those things as they lose weight, as you mentioned, and still feeling yucky. Whereas they can go, I don't care, go to a thrift shop, go to Kohl's, go to, buy things on sale, but buy 2 or 3 really beautiful outfits and gorgeous colors that make you feel excited to get dressed. And so that you're not just going back to the things that you've been wearing for a million years that you don't even love, and you're not
Right.
investing in a massive wardrobe. And then over time you'll have a sense, will you be losing more weight? Will you not? Will you gain the weight back? I mean, women worry about both of those sides, as you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
And buy a little bit of clothing at a time, but something that makes your heart sing, so that getting dressed feels more fun wherever
Yeah,
you're.
I feel like a lot of people punish themselves with their wardrobes also as a way like you have to wear these things until you show enough discipline, enough tenacity to
Yeah.
get it together, to release the weight. And when you do, then and only then you deserve that
Oh,
wardrobe. And
heartbreaking. It's
it
so
is.
heartbreaking. Please don't do that. Anybody listening, please don't do that.
Yeah. And I also am a firm believer, and this is something maybe you've noticed too, is that if you are wearing really loose clothes, if you've released 10 pounds, 20 pounds, and your pants are falling off of you and you're holding them together with a safety pin, that tells your subconscious mind that you have room to gain a little weight. Like it actually can work against you. I think our subconscious mind does a lot better when our waistband is actually not tight against our skin, but that it's actually, that we have something that fits us.
Yeah. Yeah. Fit is so important. And I think there are a lot of different messages that gives to us, and none of which are good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want clothes that fit you right now. And can I just go back for a second to what you said about,
Yes.
having 6 different sizes in your wardrobe? Because a lot of women have multiple sizes. Many, many, many women do. And to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with that, because our
Mm.
weight can fluctuate up or down a
Yes.
little bit. And
Mhm.
that's kind of normal for most women. But only have the clothes that fit you right now in your working closet. Either get the things out that don't fit you, either too big or too small, get them out, or move them to a separate section, the far end of the closet, because it
Right.
gives you a false sense of security about how many clothes you actually have that you can wear. If you
Right.
have all of these things in multiple sizes, but really only a fraction of it works for you, you got to weed through all the stuff to get to the pieces that really do work. And it's not fun because it brings up stuff as well
Mhm.
on both ends. So only have in your closet, if that's the only thing you do after listening to this, is go through your closet and move things around, you will have made great progress.
That's such a great, I could see how that would just doing that would make a huge difference. So now, what are three things women do that keep them from having a personal style that they love? Maybe weight aside.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's a whole bunch, but one is having a closet full of black. Even
Well,
if black is a great color on you, which it isn't on everybody, but even if it's a great color on you, having a closet full of black is just dreary. I'm sorry. It's just
Mm,
dreary. And
right.
and it's I don't know. I think it's boring. So, expand to other colors that look really great on you. And the other thing is buying things that are good enough. Now, this can happen for a number of reasons. One is you're not happy with your body, or you're not at the weight you want to be at, or whatever that reason is. You go into a store, oh, I don't want to spend more than $20. This is good enough. I'll get this for now. No, do not do that, because
Mhm.
what will happen, or for women who hate to shop, I have a lot of clients who really detest shopping. I'm
Yeah.
going to the store, I'm going to get something, come hell or high water, I'm getting something. And they get into the store and they're like, well, I don't really love anything here. Okay, this is good enough. I'm done. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I got something. And they go home. And then what happens is they end up with a wardrobe that's good enough. And that
Mhm.
never makes, then every day you get dressed and nothing feels exciting to put on. So those are there's lots of things that women do that,
Right.
keep them stuck.
What about wearing baggy clothes and hiding in their clothes? Like, let's talk about that because I think there's another vulnerability issue for people uh, who struggle with weight that they don't want to be seen. They want to hide out,
Yeah.
instead of pull attention to themselves.
Yes. If they aren't feeling confident about their body, then it's very easy to just put on things that sort of hide everything. And that 99.9% of the time doesn't make you feel good at all. And to be honest with you, it doesn't really hide you, really.
No.
So it's not really fulfilling the purpose that you thought it was. But the other thing that's happened is since the pandemic, I mean, we were heading to the ultra casual, comfortable scenario for wardrobes anyway. And then since the pandemic, we want everything to be super comfortable. And we assume a lot of times that means, only yoga pants or sweatpants or, sweatshirts or, just things that you wear mostly to work out or around the house or whatever. I'm here to tell you that you can get dressed in the fanciest outfit and it can still be super comfortable. There's no reason ever that you have to sacrifice comfort. So I lost my train of thought. What was the
Well, we were talking about the baggy clothes
Oh,
syndrome.
baggy clothes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. And you're right. A lot of times, if they've felt uncomfortable with their body, and, I work with women of all sizes. And
Mhm.
so it's, whether you're on a weight loss journey or you're not, the key is that you want things that skim your body.
Mhm.
That will, it won't be oversized. It won't feel too tight. So you won't feel exposed.
Right.
Skimming your body it'll show off your body shape in a very comfortable way, but if you're not used to it, it still can take some getting used to. But my thought is experiment a little bit with that and see what happens when you put on something that isn't oversized, that isn't boxy. There's a lot of that out there that just sort
Yeah.
of skims your body. And go to my website and look at my before and afters. You'll see examples. If you're not sure, well, I'm not sure what that means. Go to my website
Mm.
and you'll see things.
Good.
Or get a top that's, instead of just straight up and down and boxy, that has a little bit of a wrap style to it,
Hmm.
so that it has some diagonal lines in it that gives shape and flow to your body, and that will either enhance your natural body shape, and or if you're somebody who doesn't have naturally a lot of curves, it will add the illusion of curves to your body. So it can do one of two things. So yeah.
So interesting. That's a great idea. Do you ever have to, I'm just curious, when you are working with somebody, do they have that fear of, so you dress them, they finally decide, okay, I'm going to buy some clothes, they get dressed in them, and then they freak out. They feel like, I just don't want people to look at me. I don't want to be seen. Does that happen a lot for you or
Um,
not so much
It,
once they've
to
gotten
be
to that
honest, it
point?
actually does not happen a ton. And I think the reason is that one of the things that I will not shop with anybody or do a wardrobe consultation with someone until they have done an inner beauty consultation with me. And basically all that
Mm,
means is that we dive into who they are at their essence, at their core. Nothing whatsoever to do with their wardrobe or the clothes that they wear or that they like to wear. Who are they? And then we choose a wardrobe that reflects that. So whether you're
oh,
somebody who's refreshingly graceful, or you're intense, or you're dramatic, or you're passionate, or you're serene, or whoever you are, your clothes need to reflect that. When they do, someone will automatically feel comfortable in clothes that they've chosen that essentially show
reflect
who
who
they
they
are
are.
on the inside, on the outside. Yes.
I love that so much. Okay, so Ginger, we've decided we're going to invest in a wardrobe. We're excited about it. So, what's the number one thing that we can do to create a great wardrobe?
Okay. So, I mean, there are a number of things. It's hard to leave
I know
any.
you cannot tell us everything, but give us
No.
a few
Well, I'll give you
tidbits.
my top three things. Those top three
Okay.
things that you want to consider every time you get dressed. One is, does the color look amazing on you?
Mm,
And so again, that may or may not be black. It may or may not be, cobalt blue or really vibrant colors, but find the colors that look amazing on you. If you aren't sure, there are four colors that tend to look good on a lot of people. One is a forest green, a deep forest green. The
mm,
other is teal. Another one is a little slightly deeper mid-tone to deeper periwinkle, which can be hard to find, but it's amazing color, that kind of blue purple. And the other one is watermelon, because it's kind of on the cusp of warm and cool. So even if it's not your exact perfect pink or coral, it works on you. And so
interesting.
color is totally critical. And the second thing is, make sure that it reflects who you are. So, I could go out and dress everybody like me, and they would probably look good if I did, I would do it to fit them and all of that. But if it's not who they are, they're going to feel terrible, just as bad as
Right.
if they were in schlumpy clothes. So you have to reflect who you are on the inside. And then the third thing is, make sure your clothes fit you properly. To go back to one of the things you asked earlier, one of the things that women sometimes do that undermines their effectiveness in their wardrobe, and that is that they don't take the time to make sure something fits them properly. They don't shorten the sleeves or take in the sleeves or nip it in at the sides or whatever needs to happen. Everyone, I know people will get mad at me for this, but everybody needs to have a tailor. You just do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll spend your entire life shopping for things that fit you absolutely perfectly off the rack.
I agree. I got in the habit. We have, and a lot of people, if you've never had a tailor or somebody tailor your clothes for you, a lot of dry cleaners will do this for you if you didn't know that. I have a dry cleaner down the block. It's not expensive at all, but I will buy my pants because I am narrow in the waist, but bigger in my hips, like I said, kind of like pear shaped. And I buy my pants big, and I know as somebody who struggled with my weight, buying something bigger than I actually am doesn't, because when we struggle with our weight, the size is everything. Like, oh, hey, I'm getting into a smaller size, but I'll buy a bigger size and then I'll go to the tailor and have them tailor it strictly to my body. And it makes such a difference because I feel so awesome in my pants where I never ever did before in my life. So it's worth
Well,
the extra money.
you're absolutely right. And what you always want to do when it comes to fit is you want to buy something to fit the largest part of your body and
Mhm.
then have the rest of it tailored. So if it's your hips, you do that. If it's your tummy, you do that. For
Mm.
tops, it might be shoulder, bust, waist. You buy it to fit the largest part of your body, and the rest needs to be tailored.
Okay, well, good. That's a great tip. So we're looking at ourselves in the mirror. What can we do? What's the best thing we can do to feel good about ourselves when we look in the mirror? Ginger.
This is a really, 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 really easy one. Because what happens
Really?
when we
Okay,
look in
good.
the mirror? A lot of times we kind of go, "Ooh, yuck, ooh, what's going
Right.
on over there? When did I have that happen to my body?" Smile. Just smile at yourself. I know it
Oh,
sounds silly, but when we smile, it not only changes how we look in something, it makes us feel happier, and it gives us the opportunity to fully assess things without grimacing at ourselves, which is what we often do. I really
mm,
love what Louise Hay used to say, and that is, do mirror work where you look in the mirror and you say, I love you. I love you. You're saying that to yourself. And sometimes, that feels a little funny until you get
of
used to it. But
course.
if you don't do that, at least smile at yourself, you know?
Yes. I had a mentor who also said, focus on the part of your body. When you do scan your body, focus on your favorite part first, too. So
Yes. Yes.
that's a great advice. Smile. I love that. So since we're on like great advice, what is the biggest obstacle that when somebody goes to their wardrobe in the morning, that they face when they open up that closet door? Is it overwhelmed from all the choices, or what would you say it is?
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. It's too many things.
Okay.
And usually, I mean, I'm in the middle right now of doing a closet cleaning class with women, and I did an intake with each one of them. And I asked what percentage of their wardrobe were they wearing. Not one person was wearing more than 50% of their wardrobe, not one.
Oh, I could
And
see
some were
that.
wearing under 20%. And so when you look in that, the sea of clothes, and you're like, I don't know, I'm not going to
Right.
filter through all this stuff, and you automatically go back to what feels safe and familiar and easy, and the rest of it just sits there because you don't know what to do with it. So
Mm,
that's where the first step, and this is sometimes the hardest step, and the reason I set up the closet cleaning class, because everybody said when the pandemic hit, oh, now I have time, I'm going to clean my closet. Nobody cleaned their closet. A year later, I checked in with, did you clean your? No. So now I have this class because, they want to go through. You get stuck sometimes like, should I keep this? I don't know. Maybe I'll need it someday. And so you stick it back. Meanwhile,
mhm.
you've had it for 3 years and you haven't worn it. So but a lot of times women don't feel comfortable getting rid of something for that very, I might need it someday. So until they understand why they will never need it or how to repurpose it and actually make an outfit out of it, it's just going to sit there.
So should we look at our closet? And I mean, somebody once said, if you haven't worn it in a year, put it to the back of your closet, at least, or manage that. Do you disagree with, or do you think you should kind of measure by like, when did you wear it last? Or is that just our comfort zone that we're choosing the clothes? So it might not necessarily be the best choice.
Well, if it's dressy clothes, I absolutely do not subscribe to that because a lot of times we're not doing as many dressy things. If it's everyday clothes, to be honest with you, I still don't subscribe to it necessarily.
Mm,
The key is to be able to understand how to assess something so you'll know whether it belongs at all in your wardrobe. Is it a good color? Does it fit you? Does it reflect who you are? Where are you going to wear it? Can you make a complete outfit out of it? I mean, there's a whole bunch of questions that you want to be able to ask yourself. I ask myself all of those questions every single time I shop for something, because if I miss one of the questions, I'll, invariably buy something and go, what was I thinking? And
mm.
so you have to be able to figure out why you're not wearing it. And otherwise, and if it doesn't fit, that's actually an easy one. If it doesn't fit, move it to a different closet, put it in a tub and stick it somewhere else. Get rid of it if you feel comfortable doing that, but get it out of that closet. It's the other things like, is it a good color, or I can't make a complete outfit out of it, or all those things that kind of keep us from, oh, yeah, I might need this someday, and you stick it back in the closet without really knowing whether you will need it someday or not.
Right. That's so smart. I love that. I'm really getting a sense of what this is all about, Ginger. It's about really identifying who you are and
Yeah.
dressing. And it's such a great take. I haven't really thought about it from that perspective. I understand innate style, but really your inner beauty is such a wonderful thing to reflect upon because we rarely draw attention ourselves to that. We don't sit and go, what's my inner beauty all about? That's just not a question we just naturally ask ourselves. So it's great to even know that that question exists and that that is an important way to approach our personal style and how we put ourselves out in the world. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
I
And
love that.
you know this as well as anybody for sure. What's the first thing we do when we look in the mirror? And we say things to ourselves. We say negative things
Yes.
almost always. And so
Yes.
inner beauty words are always positive. And sometimes it's harder for women to really address that. And particularly if we weren't brought up that way. And I remember there was one woman who we were talking about potentially working together, and I explained the inner beauty concept. And she said, "What if you don't have inner beauty?" And I tell you, it just broke my heart. And I
Yeah.
said, "Well, what makes you think that you don't?" And she said, "Well, I'm not perky. I'm not bubbly. I'm not, a super happy person. I'm not, really dynamic, those kinds of things." And I said, "Well, maybe you're intense, or maybe you're edgy, or maybe you're passionate, or maybe you're quiet." I mean, they're all different ways to, to have inner beauty. It doesn't have to be all those. Believe me, if it were all the bubbly perky, I know I may sound that way right here, but in general, I'm not a bubbly perky person. That's just not me. And so then I wouldn't have inner beauty. And I believe everyone does. Everyone does. I know everybody does. I've done inner beauty consultations with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women. No two people have ever had exactly the same inner beauty words. Ever. I have them all.
Wow,
Ever.
that's amazing. That is
Ever.
really fascinating.
That's how unique we are.
Yeah. So I have a couple more questions, and then I want you to tell us about some stuff you have coming up. So, what is one of the biggest mistakes women make when they go shopping? I really want to know because I probably do them all. I was just
Okay.
wondering.
So the the very first mistake that they make is entering the store, and I've had this happen when I've been with clients, entering the store and assuming there's nothing there for them. Nothing will fit me. It's all too expensive. I don't like these colors, whatever it is. They walk in expecting not to find anything. And I can tell you right now, if you walk in expecting not to find anything, you will find nothing. And I
Believe me.
once sent a client home. I mean, we did it all very sweetly and graciously and all of that, but she was so frazzled when she arrived and so upset about something that had happened at work or whatever. And I could just feel the negativity coming off of her. And I said, "Okay, here's my suggestion. Let's go have a cup of tea and then come back shopping, or let's reschedule because you're not having fun. And it
Mhm.
should be fun and it should feel wonderful. And you're not going to make good choices. I can show you fabulous things, but you're not going to make good choices." And so we actually did reschedule because if you go in with that kind of energy, then you will never find anything that makes you happy. So I always suggest to women before you go shopping, and I bet this even applies to shopping online, take a minute and imagine yourself finding something amazing that makes you
Mm,
feel incredible wearing it. You don't have to know exactly what that thing is. Feel the feeling. Don't
mhm.
actually see the item, and then bring that energy out there into wherever you're shopping. And many times magic happens. And if it doesn't, I've had women say to me, "I went shopping and I didn't find anything and I left without buying something. And you know what? It was a successful shopping trip because they
Yeah.
didn't go and buy something they didn't really want."
Yeah. I love that. I have done that before, and that mindfulness, that breath, and okay, I'm excited about finding something, or I know I'm going to find something. I've done that a couple of times in my life and I nailed it. I got my wedding dress was the very first dress I tried on.
Oh
Can
my
you
God.
believe that? Yeah. And I was overweight, like it, and it looked good on me. It was a little expensive, but it was worth it because it was just like, because I was like, I'm going to find the magical wedding dress that's going to look good on my body.
Yes,
So, yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. That it really does make a big difference. And I've worked with women all the time in this. Sometimes I'll stop them midstream, like, "Okay, take a breath, take a breath, close your eyes," So yeah. And the other thing, just to throw out one other thing, and that is that, a lot of times women rely, if they don't feel confident themselves in making choices, they'll rely on somebody else, someone they're shopping with, a friend, mother,
Right.
saleswoman, to make choices for them. But that's where you need to be able to run down those questions and make sure that you're the one deciding what really works for you. Because otherwise you'll get it home and you'll think, why did I buy
Yeah.
this?
I've
It's
had that happen
yeah,
where I've had confident friends who dressed me, and then
yes,
I got home and I was like, this is them, this isn't me.
exactly.
And yeah, exactly. So one last question. What message do you have for women who are discouraged about the way they look?
Yeah, yeah. So it's such a tricky thing, and that is, and what you want to do is, as you mentioned earlier, don't punish yourself by not buying something. Go back to when you were a child and think about, or a teenager, whatever. For me, it was never a teenager, but go back to when you were a child. And what was something that you had on that you absolutely, maybe it was your cowboy boots, or maybe it was a
Mm,
frilly dress, or maybe it was an amazing t-shirt, or whatever it was. And just, again, feel that energy, but also that might help to guide you to make some choices. But go back to what we've talked about here today and look for a color. If you look in your closet and it's a sea of black and gray, go buy yourself something in a beautiful, beautiful periwinkle or teal or something with a beautiful, maybe V neckline or something that just makes you happy to put on. And it's a step-by-step thing. And if you put it on, you're like, but I'm still not quite sure what to wear with it. That's okay. Just put it on, feel good about it, and then you move to the next step. Okay, now what do I wear with it? But you have to, it's baby steps along the way, because to go
yeah.
out and think, okay, now that's it. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy myself a whole new wardrobe. I used to do some work for some corporate work. And I remember many times, but this one person sticks in my head. And he came to me and said, I want you to work with so-and-so. And he said, we gave her $1,500 to go buy a new wardrobe. And she came in with the same thing she always wears, because she didn't know what else to do. And so today here, we've already given you some idea. Go back and listen to this again. Pick up a couple of tips, go out and start playing with those things and see what kind of magic happens. And then if you get stuck, ask for help.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. And don't forget, you can go to Ginger's website and look at those before and afters. I think before and afters are really helpful because you can see, you could probably find somebody in your before and afters that maybe has your body type or has the same coloring as you to see what you've done for them.
And go to
So
my
Gin,
blog posts too. I had a
oh,
woman just
awesome.
emailed me today and she said, I'm learning so much from your website. I mean, all the
Yeah.
blog posts on there are free and there are all kinds of fashion tips there.
And it's a beautiful website, everybody.
Thank
Of course.
you. Thank you.
So Ginger, I know you have a course coming up and it sounds amazing. I actually found Ginger through one of my clients, Cherie, who said, you must get to know this woman. She is so amazing. She's changed my life. She took this course that you're going to tell us about. And please just tell us about it because it sounds really fascinating.
Yeah, thank you. It's called and thank you to Cherie. It's called Create Your Personal Style in 6 Weeks. And it's something that I put together when COVID hit, because I couldn't see my clients in person at the time. And I had always wanted to create a class where I was there live teaching it on Zoom,
Mhm.
but I was there to answer questions. And what I did was I've been in business a really, really long time. And I know the area where women struggle. And so I created a different class on each one of those topics. And we dive very, very deeply into it. And I encourage women, everything from inner beauty to how do you create a good foundation? How do you choose a print? How do you choose shoes, which is like one of the biggest issues these days?
Yes.
How do you
Mhm.
accessorize something? How do you create a capsule wardrobe? All of those things we cover in great detail. And I encourage women to ask questions, send pictures. I will help you to analyze something and figure out, does it work? Does it not? Why are you not feeling comfortable in it? How could it be different? Which shoes look better with that outfit? All of those things. It's a total blast. It's been super popular. I'm still doing it. I'm doing it like 13 times in the past 3 years.
That's
So yeah,
amazing. It
it's
sounds like a
totally
fun
fun.
class.
It's
Okay.
really fun.
Well, awesome. And I know also Ginger has provided us. So the link to this course is in the show notes. And also that Ginger has a special link that's it's a free offer of it's a video of
Yeah.
maybe you can tell us about that as
Yeah.
well.
How to look chic and unstoppable at any age. Some of it is overlap from what you and I have talked about, but I think
Yes.
I also show some things in there as well. But it's fun. There's always different things that you can pick up. But yeah, it's a free video that will then
That sounds
also
like a great resource to, like you said, to
is.
come and look at this podcast or listen to the podcast again. But this sounds like a more visual tool that you can access and have
Yeah,
in your back pocket when you go to dress yourself. Well,
exactly.
Ginger, this has been eye-opening for me. I always love it when I learn a lot from a guest, and I really thank you. I'm really inspired to go through my closet and throw out a bunch of things and bring in more color because I do admit I'm wearing color today, but
Yeah, it looks lovely.
I have a lot of black in my wardrobe. I do like black, but I'm going to challenge myself and I want to thank you so much for coming on and those again. Take a look at Ginger's. I took a look at this course. It looks amazing. So check it out. The link is in the show notes and also grab that free video of how to look chic and fabulous at any age. Ginger Burr, thank you so much again for joining us on the Thin Thinking podcast.
Thank you, Rita. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you so much, Ginger. I look forward to having you back on the show. Don't forget to check out Ginger's freebie video, Feel Authentic, Chic, and Unstoppable at Any Age. It's available in the show notes. And also the link to her course that she talked about, Create Your Personal Style in 6 weeks. The links are in the show notes. So check it out. And don't forget, write that review. Send me that picture of the review. Get into the contest for the free shift and get your free hypnosis download. Have an amazing week. And remember that the key, and probably the only key to unlocking the door of the weight struggle, is inside you. So keep listening and find it. Have an amazing week, and I will be with you next week. Do you want to dive deeper into the mindset of long-term weight release? Head on over to www.shiftweightmastery.com. That's www.shiftweightmastery.com, where you'll find numerous tools and resources to help you unlock your mind for permanent weight release, tips, strategies, and more. And be sure to check the show notes to learn more about my book, From Fat to Thin Thinking, Unlock Your Mind for Permanent Weight Loss.